All right, hi guys. This is part two of the sunset at the marina. We have the light coming through the canopy of the boat. This is the clayboard and the painting. I've already started the freehanding, no frisket. If we look at the seagull, I know this is the reference picture. The seagull is very sharp edged because that's how it came out in the photograph when I took the picture. Now I have to mimic that. So you know I painted that in the other video and it's covered right now, so I have the reference very close to what I'm working on. But in the meantime, this needs to be free-handed in so that I have a softer out of focus edge. There's a lot of ways to do edges, and this is one of them with the freehand style. And I'm just going to work a little bit here to capture this. So let's see, I'm going right in between here, and I'm going to pull down this. This is actually straighter, so I'm going to go this way. And I got to be careful that I don't get too flooded in. These shapes are going to get very dark, but it's going to take a lot of coating out. I don't want to go too fast and get too wide, but I am trying to achieve the blurry edge. Sometimes I'll lock into a position like this. Here's my little dot right there, okay? Find that dot. Now, if I go in real close, I don't want to get a line. I'll do a line here. I don't want that. I want it to be out of focus. Tip dry. So I'm just going to come in here, and this will all get covered solidly right in here. Coating. And then in here, I'm just going to get close to that line, little pencil line there, and I'm going to start to work my way closer until I see that it's got the line. Now keep in mind, as I bring in the orange later, there's a back and forth thing that's going to go on because my orange is going to be opaque too. It's going to have a mixture of opaque paint from the transparent mixture. I'm going to put white in it and yellow and other things, but that'll make it have some covering power. And then when I come close in here and I start to freehand in my sky, I can kind of melt the two together and get that, achieve even more blurriness, because some of the orange looks like it's going onto the radar thing here on the boat. Okay, right now it's looking pretty sloppy, but that's just the nature of it. Down here, this area is not going to be preserved for white, too much white. It's just going to be a little glow of orange in there. This area over here is going to be preserved. So I'm going to get some, I know you can't see too much of pink coming out in that area, so let me go back to an area that you can see. Now this is really kind of out of focus, so I'm going to stay back further. It's almost like it's round, whatever the shape is. Now the center gets darker, so I have to work it. Again, tip dry. Okay, so I got that going. Whoops, I got to test this. Spray that out a little bit. Okay, air on. Okay, there's not much here, so I'm going to cover that. That might be a little orange in that spot there, but it's not a bright area like up top. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to cover, second coat. Now we're going to get into some bigger areas, knock them back, the bottom ones, into the picture a little. Okay, and now I'm going to just try to come across this line right here where the antenna is. If you can show that. There's a little antenna, and I'm just going to kind of put the line in right there as I go underneath it. There we go. Farther away, keeping the airbrush further away, and now I'm going to just second coat it. Oops, a little bit of flooding there, but it'll be all right because it's going to get all solid coverage right in there. You have to work the edge again a little better. And some of these edges are, there's a few hard edges in there in the canopy. It's not all out of focus. Let's go back to this area and get some color in there. Make that solid. This is all solid in here. So while we got this little area kind of getting blurred out, I'm going to take the eraser. I'm going to use the aggressive eraser. I've got the Tombow. I got the aggressive eraser that's waiting to bring back the white on this shape here that's over here. There's a little shape. It's kind of like rounder at the bottom, and it just kind of, and I clean my eraser on a piece of copy paper. Whoops. Okay, that's called a small little pencil here. Okay, typewriter eraser. Just clean it up, getting it ready, and I'll blur it out again. Like I said, that orange is going to have some opacity to it, so I'll be fine going. It's a back and forth thing, and I want to keep this cleaner right in here. So this is kind of what's involved, and it's in the sloppy stages right now. I mean, when I work on this without being on video, I'm going to be able to. I had it on my lap actually before, and I was really getting some good action with the airbrush of control, where I tilted it a certain way. But for the video, I'm just trying to show you a few things to show how I would handle getting the airbrush to, okay, let's see, to get the look I want. So on the outside of the canopy, there's going to be a nice, I got to do a little line there and then blow out that way. And it's kind of gonna roll. Like I said, I'm not going to go too much higher than that. It's very soft. It's out of focus trees actually in the background. So I'll treat that later on. I'll get into that area. But once I put the oranges in here, the yellows, the white of the board is going to be my white most likely. And if I'm not happy with it, then I will mix, and spray some white in. So you got the white area, anything where I get a little bit too, like this is going to be brown. So, but it's going to be more burnt umber. See, it's not as, it's a different, it's starting to glow. So the brown is starting to go orangey. And then it goes into the real fire colors, and I have to make some pretty hard edges there. And then the yellow will have all these little designs and everything. The yellow will be put in here, and then I'll put the orange on top of it and do some blending, and you'll still see some yellow there, and then it'll be stronger orange. But this orange is not the same as that orange, and that's where it's going to come alive, from that glow to that dark sky later on. So this is a little bit of how I'm going about it. I'll just second coat this just a little more right here, just so you can see the fill, how I'm filling this in. Air on, a little bit of coverage, aim down, air dry it there. You see it shining a little bit. And I want to go right in here. And there's not much more I can really do for this video than just to show you the coverage of this. And again, the difference of the lower one is there is going to be a little orange in here, but you can't see it. It's in the photograph. It's an orangey brown right there. It's just more reflection coming in. But this is going to be worked. There's actually, I'll do one more thing, and then we'll call it this. Oh, yeah, when you start flooding and it starts spidering like that, you can either turn the air down, or you can just stay further away and work the airbrush back and forth, and it will cover it, because it's gonna be dark. I mean, that little area is gonna be as dark as it can get, because I do have the color mixed with that white, and it will, be as limited. So one more little hit right here, and there you can see it's getting darker. It's actually one of these that's gonna go up into here later. Okay, so I'm just second coating it. So a lot of this could be a little boring to watch, too much of it. I just wanted to show you how I'm treating this, and take a faraway shot now. Again, I'm using the Micron, the Custom Micron SB, and Awada makes it. Fantastic airbrush. I'm thinking about the new trigger that Drew Blair has produced. It's a trigger that's square shaped more, and it's low rider. It doesn't go up as high. I don't know right now in my budget if I can be buying all kinds of things, but I am thinking about that because Drew uses his finger like that and I paint like this. And I think there's an advantage to this, but I'm not used to it. Just saying. He's my teacher from many years, and he's a phenomenal artist. So if you don't know Drew Blair, it's Dru Blair, Blair, like Airbrush. So anyway, don't hesitate to look him up, and also look up Steve Leahy. He does live videos on Monday. I gave him a little private message and asked him for a little input. He does micro airbrushing, like real small, on razor blades, scenes that are so tiny. So I asked him for a little advice, and he shared with me couple of just a couple of little insights to how to handle this, and I really appreciate that, Steve. And anyway, check him out. He does live videos on Mondays. It's fantastic. You're talking an hour or better videos of him actually painting these phenomenal micro paintings that are so small. So there's another shout out to you, Steve, and to Drew Blair. Again, thanks for checking these videos out. It's a great thing, the airbrush community is great, and just have fun with it, and hopefully you'll learn more. This is going to come alive, I promise, and if it doesn't, then I have to do it over. No. Okay, so thanks for looking, and Sue, thank you for helping me, and we will see you on the next video, and that will be part 3. Take care. God bless you guys. I'll see you on the next video.